Welcome to Whispers and Confessions. There might be a twist waiting, so please make sure to watch until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin right away.
Hey everyone, I'm Kevin, a 45-year-old office worker who thought his biggest concern was the next backyard barbecue. But what happens when your body betrays you and the most intimate part of your marriage starts to crumble, leaving you feeling utterly worthless? I hit rock bottom, desperate for a solution, and that's when my boss suggested something so wild, so out of left field, it completely turned my world upside down. Stick around, because you won't believe what it took to bring my marriage and me back to life. I'm 45, an office drone, just your average guy clocking long hours at a mid-sized IT firm in California. My dreams are more about backyard BBQs than boardroom promotions. Career ambition never really drove me. As long as my home life stayed calm, I was content. Lauren and I had been married for 15 years, no kids, and I always thought we were doing all right. Or at least, I convinced myself we were. Then came a time when, no matter how much I wanted to hold her, my body just wouldn't cooperate. At first, I chalked it up to exhaustion. Work had been relentless. But as it kept happening, I couldn't even meet her gaze. I'd turn away when she'd linger in a silk nightgown after dinner, pretending to be engrossed in late-night emails. Whenever she'd say, "Today feels right," a crushing dread of failure loomed over me. Her offhand remark, "Don't you want a baby?" cut me to the core. Ironically, her hope for our future only deepened my body's refusal to respond. I tried it all: doctors, therapy, pills, every gimmick from workouts to diet tweaks. Nothing touched the gnawing self-doubt eating at me. I felt worthless, utterly emasculated, and a burning resentment began to simmer within me. Slowly, our talks and touches faded. It was all on me, yet every time Lauren reached out with kindness, shame gnawed at me relentlessly. It was torture. Lying beside her each night, I lacked the courage to pull her close. Even with her warmth right there, I felt myself drifting into a colder void. Lauren, on her side of the bed, felt the silence grow heavier each night. She'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering where her husband had gone. She'd try to reach for me, but my stillness was a wall she couldn't break. One morning, she even called her sister, trying to casually bring up marital ruts without revealing the full, agonizing truth. "He just seems so distant, like he's barely there," she'd confided, her voice thick with unspoken pain. "It feels like I'm screaming into a void sometimes." The hope for a baby, which used to be a shared dream, now felt like a lonely burden she carried, a constant reminder of what we were losing. Then one day, my boss Michael called. "Hey, Kevin, let's grab a beer soon." I've known Michael for over a decade. He's more than a work connection. He's always had my back personally, too. I remember one time, early in my career, I messed up a huge client presentation, nearly costing the firm a major contract. I was convinced I'd be fired, but Michael stepped in, took the blame himself, and worked late with me for weeks to fix it. He saved my job and taught me a lot about true leadership. So, when he called, I knew I could trust him. What started as a casual vent over drinks turned heavy as the alcohol loosened my tongue. "Michael, I can't. Nothing works down there," I confessed. Saying it out loud felt like a dam breaking inside me. My face burned with intense shame. My voice wavered as I spilled it all. My struggles with erectile dysfunction, the growing distance with Lauren, the futile attempts at fixes through doctors and drugs. Michael listened in silence, his expression grave, nodding as he twirled his beer glass. Then he said, "Guys run on feelings, Kev, whether we admit it or not. This might fix itself quicker than you think." "What do you mean?" I asked, glancing up. He smirked faintly, locking eyes with me. "Jealousy, man. Picture someone else taking Lauren from you. It'll spark something primal. You've been there." I asked, caught off guard. He nodded. "Yeah, I've wrestled with the same thing. Meds and doctors didn't do a thing. But something else worked." "What was that?" I pressed, hesitant. His tone turned resolute. "Partner swapping. Swinging." I thought he was messing with me, but his face was dead serious, his voice brimming with certainty. Sounds crazy, I know, but give it a shot. It'll wake you up. Those words stuck with me, echoing long after. That night, after splitting with Michael, I lingered alone at a hotel bar for a while. The bar smelled of stale beer and fryer grease, jukebox tunes humming low under the clink of glasses. Maybe I'd overdone it with the drinks. My head spun, but oddly, my heart felt crystal clear. Partner swapping? I'd always seen it as some far-fetched movie plot. My mind immediately went to online forums and whispered rumors about swinging. I even pulled out my phone, doing a quick, discreet search. The images and stories I saw were a jumble of shock, revulsion, curiosity, and a deep-seated guilt. Part of me balked. What would people think if word got out about something so taboo? But another part, buried deep, wondered if this was the jolt I needed. His phrase, "It'll spark something," looped in my brain. Could jealousy really bring a man back to life? My instinct to reject it was feeble. Instead, a curiosity to try it grew stronger. Driving home, I was lost in thought. Just imagining Lauren in another man's arms sent a wildfire racing through my veins. For days after, I couldn't look Lauren in the eye. Even at dinner, when she spoke, my mind drifted, ungrounded. I didn't know how to broach it, and time just slipped away. But one evening, I couldn't keep it bottled up anymore. After dinner, we sat together on the couch, TV off, the late-night silence weighing heavy. My heart hammered against my ribs, and my palms grew clammy. A cold sweat pricked my forehead. Out of nowhere, Lauren broke it. "Babe, what's on your mind?" Her tone wasn't sharp or blaming, just soft, tinged with a quiet loneliness. Her eyes held worry, and meeting them, I knew I couldn't keep dodging the issue. "I've got something to tell you, Lauren," I said, facing her squarely. She nodded without a word. Her expression from that moment is still vivid. Not anticipation or fear, just a willingness to hear me out. I laid it all bare. The night of drinking with Michael, why I'd ended up like this, the crushing helplessness, the pressure to have a child that haunted me, the years of failed attempts with doctors and meds. Finally, I brought up Michael's wild suggestion of partner swapping. My voice quivered, my face flushed hot, and my hands trembled with nerves. Sweat prickled at my temples, and I couldn't stop shifting on the couch, like a kid caught in a lie. I was past embarrassment or fear. I just needed her to know. When I finished, Lauren sat quiet for a long stretch. The room was still, save for the loud tick of the wall clock. "I'm shocked," she said. She blinked rapidly, her fingers tightening on her lap for a moment before she forced a small chuckle. Her smile mixed surprise with a hint of empathy. "Funny thing is, I've heard something like that recently too." My eyes widened. "What do you mean, Lauren?" "Someone half joked that if my husband can't, I should try another guy." Her words shook me. My throat tightened with a searing burn. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to point fingers. I must have pressured you without knowing. I'm so sorry. So, if you want to try it, I'm okay with it." Her steady resolve pierced through me, an ache I couldn't shake. Her gaze was firm, yet caring. "I can't pull you into this," I said staunchly. She replied gently, "I've been in this with you for years." She paused, her voice softening. "I'm your wife, Kevin." I had no comeback. I just gripped her hand tight. Her warmth flooded through me, filling my soul. The next few days felt like trudging through dense fog. The day to act on the idea loomed closer. Michael had set it all up, date and place. He'd reserved 2 upscale suites at a luxury resort near Las Vegas, a spot he often used for such arrangements. The night before, I stared into the mirror. My cheeks looked gaunt, dark circles shadowed my eyes. Yet, there was a flicker of something in my gaze, a spark I hadn't seen in months. Was I really doing this? I questioned myself, but no answer came. Deep down, though, my resolve was set. The resort lobby felt like time crawled. Every passing couple seemed to stare, judging, even though I knew they weren't. Under soft, ambient lighting, Lauren and I sat shoulder to shoulder on a sofa. Michael and his wife, Sophia, were already there, greeting us with easy smiles. "Come on, loosen up a bit," Kevin, Michael teased. Unsure how to reply, I managed a stiff grin. Lauren seemed on edge too, her fingers lightly clutching my sleeve. I sensed her unease in the delicate tremble of her hand and the subtle pressure of her grip. Feeling it, I squeezed her hand reassuringly. After check-in, Michael handed me a key card with a smirk. Rooms are right next door. Knock if anything comes up. Not that I expect it will. His tone teetered between jest and sincerity. A mischievous glint mixed with odd anticipation in his eyes. Tonight, it'd be me with Sophia and Lauren with Michael. That was the plan. At the room doors, Lauren gave my hand a gentle squeeze. Turning, I saw her eyes lowered, a faint nod. Be careful, Lauren, I said, worried. She murmured, okay. Her quiet voice carried a thread of determination. My nerves hummed not with fear, but with a strange excitement. What would unfold? Or what if nothing did? 1 second, a reckless thrill pulsed through me. The next, a sick dread twisted my gut. What if walking through that door changed everything? My hand hovered, each second a battle between crippling fear and an unyielding desperation to reclaim what was lost. Stepping into the room, only the soft hum of the AC greeted us. True to a resort suite, the lighting was warm. A plush sofa invited relaxation, and the scent of fresh coffee wafted through. Cracking the window, distant sounds of the resort's nightlife filtered in. The faint chime of slot machines and laughter from the Vegas Strip carried on the warm desert air. Sophia, joining me, was dressed with understated elegance, her perfume a faint whisper. Her black dress hugged her curves flawlessly, radiating a refined allure. Her neck was sleek, her bare shoulders glowing softly. Her eyes held depth, her lips a subtle red, and I caught my breath without meaning to. An unspoken magnetism drew me in, and I straightened instinctively. I brought wine. Care for a glass, Kevin? She offered with a warm smile. Her voice, low and enchanting, unsettled me slightly. She tilted her head with a playful smirk, as if daring me to lighten up. I nodded wordlessly. The red wine she poured was rich in hue and aroma. At a loss for words, I traced the glass's rim with my finger. You're nervous, aren't you, Kevin? Sophia noted, lifting her glass. Her gaze was kind yet tinged with allure. Yeah, honestly, I'm clueless here, I admitted, laughing awkwardly. She smiled softly and sipped her wine. As her crimson lips met the glass, I froze for a heartbeat. As our glasses emptied, conversation flowed. Mundane topics, work stuff. Oddly, the vibe eased up. Yet, my mind kept drifting to Lauren in the other room. What was she doing? Was Michael close to her? Each thought made my fists clench, my grip tightening on the glass. Then Sophia's hand rested lightly on mine. Warm and gentle, her touch stiffened me instantly. Don't I seem like a woman to you, Kevin? Her words jolted me. As her fingers brushed my cheek, her eyes peering into mine, my breath hitched sharply. Her eyes were stunning, holding a youthful shimmer that defied time, their depth pulling me in. Her lips parted slightly, the faint wine scent from them stirring me further. Her neck and bare shoulders were captivating, and her slender, smooth legs peeking from her dress snatched my gaze. What'll you do, Kevin? She whispered, her voice a soft caress against my ear. My nerves tingled. Only a fragment escaped me. I'm sorry, Sophia. Her hand paused. Surprise flickered in her eyes. Oh, I can't. You're incredibly captivating, but I trailed off. My heart belonged to Lauren, and despite Sophia's pull, I had to push back. She stayed quiet for a moment, then let out a light laugh, more understanding than disappointed. Shall we go get them? Unable to wait, I bolted from the room. My hand slammed against the door, rapping loudly. The wait felt endless. When it opened, there sat Michael and Lauren at a sofa, playing cards. I mumbled, stunned. Lauren looked up, relief and surprise washing over her face. The absurdity left me speechless. Sophia appeared behind me. You nailed it, Kevin. Michael's grin was too easy, too knowing, like he'd been waiting for this exact reaction. Or let's call it a win. It was all staged. So, don't you want to hold Lauren right now? His words made my knees buckle. His playful smirk held genuine warmth in his eyes. I felt drained, nearly collapsing. What if I'd touched Sophia? I asked, voice unsteady. Michael replied calmly, warmly. I knew you wouldn't. But if you had, he paused, a new glint in his eye. Sophia would have flattened you. She's not my wife, Kevin. She's a professional I work with for these kinds of situations. We've been friends for years, helping guys like you get their heads straight. He roared with laughter, the sound filling the space as my jaw dropped. Emotion overwhelmed me, tears spilling uncontrollably. Every tear carried years of bottled-up failures. Every night I turned away, and now, the profound relief of her still being here, and the realization of how deeply I truly loved her. Lauren hurried over, alarmed, but I just held her hand and wept silently. Her warmth enveloped me, soothing my soul. Sophia patted my back. Take your time together tonight. Clutching Lauren's hand, we returned to our room. The moment we stepped in, every fiber of my being screamed for her. In the softly lit room, only a faint glow from the sofa lamp casting shadows, I stood by the bed, holding Lauren's hand, gazing at her profile. A shy smile played on her lips, but her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. I guided her down onto the bed, pressing close. Her body melted into mine, and feeling her breath and heat, I let go of every barrier. Her skin was warm, velvety, and each reaction to my touch fueled my longing. Devouring her lips, I sensed her breaths growing harsh and urgent. Kevin, harder, please, she pleaded, her voice hoarse with desire. Her words drove me wild, pushing my need to the edge. It wasn't just hunger, it was a desperate need to reclaim every lost touch, every missed chance. As her body shuddered, reaching its height in my arms, I couldn't restrain myself any longer. When our bodies merged completely, a tidal wave of pure ecstasy swept through me, leaving my mind utterly clear. Her trembling intensified, her gasps turning to near cries of uncontrolled release. I held her tighter, soaking in every pulse of that moment with my entire being. That peak wasn't just a physical high. It was rebuilding our severed bond, a melding that felt right again. I didn't overthink Lauren's feelings, just followed my instincts. Without hesitation, her body nestled into my embrace, warm and yielding, yet tonight felt uniquely charged. Maybe because I transformed. What I saw wasn't only her body. It was restoring myself as her husband, a silent vow. Were you scared, Lauren? I asked softly. She dipped her head, nodding faintly. But hearing your heavy steps, I felt safe. Her words stirred a quiet glow in my soul. Drawing her near, I silently pleaded for forgiveness over and over, for everything, for unspoken words, for leaving her alone. Mindlessly, I craved Lauren endlessly. Afterward, I felt dampness on my cheeks, unbidden tears that were not of sorrow. They were tears of profound gratitude, deep relief, and the undeniable promise of a fresh start with her. Thank you, Lauren, I whispered. She echoed quietly. Thank you too, Kevin. Our voices, though soft, intertwined with clarity. Months later, spring arrived, the breeze gentle and warm. Opening the window, sheer lace curtains danced lightly, a subtle floral scent drifting in. Lauren sat on the living room sofa, her belly now noticeably rounded. Each glimpse of it stirred emotions too deep for words. Can you believe this, Lauren? I murmured. Smiling, she rested a hand on her bump. I always thought it'd never happen. It's a true miracle. With that, she squinted out the window, spring sunlight framing her face in a tender glow, as if time paused. Her old coffee mug, chipped from our first apartment, sat on the table, a relic of where we began. I've picked a name already, Lauren said suddenly. Already? I asked, taken aback. She nodded. Yeah. Actually, Michael came up with it. I looked up, mildly surprised. Michael? Yep, he's got a knack for this. How's Kyle? Works for a boy or girl, right? The name symbolized reconnecting our bond and nurturing new life. I rolled it over in my mind. Kyle. It felt solid, grounded, like the new foundation we were building. Warm, understated, yet strong, like the quiet grit of folks who rebuild after a storm. A name for starting over. It's perfect, I said, smiling. She beamed, delighted. Isn't it? Her hand caressed her belly slowly. I laid mine over hers. Though there was no movement yet, the reality of life within, our life, sank in, stirring a quiet glow in my soul. "Thank you, Lauren," I said earnestly. She glanced up. "For what?" "For everything." With that, I gripped her hand firmly. I vowed to stand by her side, ready for midnight ice cream runs, diaper blowouts, scraped knees, and teaching our kid to ride a bike, building the family we'd almost given up on. Here, I'm ready to weave a new chapter with her.